You're welcome, my name is Survivor. I will explain you in this tutorial exactly what you can do with stuck in plugins, stuck in sounds on Ableton. I use Ableton, I used it a long time, since today. I produce techno, I produce acid techno, I produce house, I produce EDM, I can produce pop dance music, so I have a whole bunch of music and sounds, and you can stream it all on my Spotify, on my YouTube, on my SoundCloud. It's all linked in this link tree. All links are in the link tree that are in the description or in the comments, in the description. But you can feel free to comment on this video if you have any feedback of the video, if you have any suggestions to make it better. Or just to let me know how you feel about this tutorial and if it help you. This is for all producers out there using Ableton especially, but I think this can help also a lot of other producers who using other DAWs, because the knowledge of using effects and also of train the ears or frequency stuff. But now to the tutorial. This was just introduction, just the intro. So that means I have here a basic analog bass in a low octave. You can see it here, the note. And yes, and for those who are interested about it, I'm from Germany and I produced for 7 years or 8 years. Next year, summer next year, 8 years music. So it makes still fun, and it will never end. It will never end with the music, and it will makes always fun for me. So here special is the analog bass for his specific sound without any changings. The default sound in 126 BPM. You see it here. And you can do crazy stuff with that as a producer. And also you can do, first of all, I would change the ratio for an acid bassline to that, or just more. And then you can make the frequency a bit, the filter cutoff, the frequency of the filter cutoff very low, or to the middle lows. You can also play with the sounds on it. You can see as much higher as is the Reso filter, how much as the filter cutoff is low. That is what I want to say. You can play only with those two yeah, you can set up the controllers to filter Reso controller. You can put very high, and so it makes this acid sound of the sound. Yeah, I will explain it now by listening and changing the controller of the options you can do here in Ableton just with the computer mouse or with your keyboard, and as much higher as the controller is, as much as the acid sound, acid house sound, but you have to keep on eye that the filter cutoff have to be lower than of course lower than the ratio, the resonance, but also if you put high the resonance, as much high the resonance is, as much low the filter cutoff should be, because of the high frequencies. I'll show you what I mean when I put all the high frequencies to 2000 K and to the maximum of ratio filter. It's very overcompressed and very loud. So put down the filter cutoff for this, and you can put down it to maybe 400 or 300, and less from maybe just not the half, and not the half of the half, but just more of this, just a little bit to the percent of 60 or 50%, 54. More filter cutoff, more open filter cutoff. And there is a filter envelope, and with this you can do such great. I think this is especially how it creates acid bass lines. You can hear by Calvin Harris and some songs I created. Also, or David Guetta created also the sound by a remix of himself, and I just explored this how by random, I guess. I just played with the sound, and that's the most reason I can give you. Just play with the sounds and let's surprise you what can happen. And with each synthesizer, with each sound, it could be worse, of course, but it's not the end production, and it could be very awesome, so try it out. And here you can have the space, and it's more this stereo control of the and the reverb of it. And of course, the opposite is the same. If you have the filter cut high, put down the filter ratio, because it doesn't fit together if it both is high or both is low. Because if both is very low, you can't hear anything. It's nearly very quiet. I think this is nice. And then there you have a delay, and it's just an analog bass. You just create for analog bass and for background, but you can use it as a bass line also. Can try to less drive it if it goes too loud. But this. And my main surprising effect is here the delay of Ableton in this instrument, the control of the delay, because if it's here, you hear the much possibilities you have here. And how to use this in the production, that's the next step. And For those who use Ableton, just go and change the view of your workflow. I mean, for that, what I really mean is put it to the mixing view, arrangement view, and go to loop it. Your sound, I think you know it, but for the beginners, explain it. Because this is fun fact. For the beginning, when I produced music, it took me 2 days or 3 days to find just out how to create the one note, because I don't read the manual, so the online, the ebook of the description of how to use it, and I want to learn it by myself, and that's why it took me a lot of hours. But I think that was a great thing, because to learn it by self is just better than not on not on each person, but for me it was better to learn it by myself, to do it by myself, because it's so much fun to explore all the settings you can do, all the controls here in Ableton, all the curves in the mixing arrangement view, what I explain you now. For those who don't have just tried out, you can do so much crazy things. First of all, you have to decide in your music if you want to do it in. We could we have two options. We can go here longer, but if we use just this note, we can also loop it to 16 bar or 32 bar for the drop or something, and then we can repeat it here on that button, and then it plays just a note, how we designed it. And here is the special you can do. You can modulate it or automate it in that point, and that's just easy. Just go to we are beginning with the filter cutoff. You can go to a right click on your computer mouse and show automation, and there you have a line or a curve. Later you can do it just crazy. You can go here and just make crazy stuff like that from a very low cutoff. In the same note, you have to scroll you have to zoom very much to the note. You can do it in the note to this, just for example, or and you can also, when you did it, you can mark it with the left. You can just yes, that's the no. I think it's the correct word to mark it. This means that you choose this frame or this loop, and you have to repeat it, the whole loop. You can leave it at that. Sorry, it's very hard for me to find the right words in English, but you can do this by push the control together with the with the keyboard Alt. So just I don't know. I think it was just no. It was just the control, and then the what you can do, you can also do that. I think when you just want to copy the, I can show you what I mean. You can duplicate the. Okay, I think that's not possible anymore. But what you can do, you can duplicate it as much times you want to use it. Oh, I have. Okay, you just have to use the control thing. But if you don't, if you forgot it, or if you don't use it, you can just switch the length of the loop, and it will be on Ableton on the same position the curve you did on the cutoff. So just repeat it over and over again. That means just duplicate it with the control and duplicate. Just that, and then you can just loop that to that point you want to loop it. That means you can just, you have it, now you have the all the changings that repeating. And the nice thing here is you can do it step by step. You can just delete one point of the envelope curve, or and so you just leave it here for the normal song. You can do crazy stuff, or just introduce the sound on the beginning of the drop. Okay, that was maybe too much, but you can do this. You can just experiment what you want to create, but I think that sounds good. That's what I want to repeat. You have to think about that one bar is just four to four steps. That means the changing can be much, but haven't to be that much because it's confusing the ears. Yeah, you can do this. Yeah, just hear the changing. And on the second bar or part of the rhythm, you can go crazier. Yeah, and I think that is what we have to repeat in that point. And then we can do also great stuff. That's the cool thing on Ableton, in my opinion, but you can use that though you want to prefer. It's the best practice to don't think, because it's very, it has some good workflow, but FL is also good if you know it, and this is special for Ableton, this tutorial, I think, because it's so much into the production of Ableton, but I think you can understand. I had a conversation with a good producer also, and he understand me also, because I think the cutoffs or the filter cutoff and ratios, reverb and all these things are on other doors the same name, because it's one language, music or music production, and yes. So I think that's nice for our for the experiment of what you can do with one note or one sound. Okay, that was too much. That's too much. Yeah, that's too much, but for some reason or for dubstep you can use it, but for this genre not, I think. Or not that much. See it here, the change you did, and it makes crazy stuff. And the same you can do with the automation of this bass at that point. It's just a reverb effect. Here you can do it from like you do it with riser normally is typically, and you can do it with the sound also. You can. This is my special tip. Make a marker or what means that in English? Clip selection, yeah, that's the correct word, I guess. You can use just a clip of your of the notes and go from one clip. You do with a double click of your mouse. You can make a clip selection, and then you select it when you have mark on that point and if you have set if you had set it on that point, it never changes. To changings, at least you do stuff like this. You see it here, it goes, this is the one options you can use. Or you can do it not that on a constant thing. You can do it also on a rapidly or step by step rapidly. You can do it rapidly. You can do it less on the first 8 bars, and then you can also do this just a little bit higher here to the top of the door. Then you go up and up and up, and this the trick is just to use shorter time as you. It's very hard to explain it. So you have to choose a bar before maybe for that, and do it the same. If you choose a selection of the clip that is before it was on the first section of it, that means that you can put up here it's very high. That makes a very fast reverb effect. Or you can do it if you scratch it. You see what I mean here. I think this why it's a tutorial, and you can do also stuff like this. You can go up and just a bit more higher than just a little bit that's not very recognizable, and go down with the reverb and go then next up higher, and that has some special effect, and that means it's make it 2 times because or 3 times because it's maybe that too much. Then you have to feel the music. It means you have to select how much you do effects and how often. Oh, I'm impressed of my myself. Sorry for this. But to explain it, it's very hard to explain. You know, to find the right words. But I did it, and you can also do crazy stuff with the delay. The last thing, and the cool thing on this, you just haven't used any external effect. That means you haven't add a reverb on Ableton, you haven't add a special delay on it or a special cut off. You have it all in the instrument, and you can use it just for that part of it. And if you see it here on that view, you can go to here and search on the second sorry, the second bar of the that explains what it is. You can see the effects, and there are your effects you added, and you can switch between that. And that means if you make it, see it here in the space, maybe it can be on that high frequency, not frequency, on that high reverb, and then you can do in the mixing effect stuff. You can do things to go down and then up, very low down, and then the reverb is array maybe, and it has those this effect. I show you the whole process, and also you can do the filter cut off on a point you have here, or you want it, and you can make it rapidly to the normal sound you want it. So maybe for that point 788. Okay. Yeah, 778. Yeah, and you can also do a right click, edit value. You can just type it exactly the value you want to. That means I want 788, so 788, and then go to enter, and then it's on that point. That's the most thing I like on Ableton. This little details. So it means if we end it here. Okay, that was too rapidly, but sometimes it has maybe that. Okay, there you have to go up with the space rapidly too. I know it's very hard for the beginning, but it's very worth it to learn that on music production. It makes so much cool stuff, and yeah. And that's another reason I used it instrument effects. You can just duplicate this also, and you duplicate both controllers, I guess. That means you have that second time here, this short effect. That means it has repeated then. And you can choose what position it will repeating. So you can choose, for example, this. And then you have automatically another another bar. So it's now a 32 drop, but in sounds different, but it's one instrument and one sound with different effects. So completely it sounds now like this. Or you can go up next, because you don't want repeatings in that point. And you can just loop the completely thing, or you can leave another drop, because if you have the hi-hat also, just try it out and you have to find the rhythm. But before you do that, I want to recommend to use one option of the sounds to create all things around it, and do then this stuff, because if here you have the complete sound. Yes, you can just try it out. I want to explain just what you can do, and you can do this with all instruments, and all controller of the instruments. It means if you have that on just an epic string or epic sound also, just try those things too, and it's worth it. It's very worth it, because you hear the difference very much, and it's just one note, and you don't have to sound design other sounds or layer that sounds. And just this is very amazing. And you can also, for last, before it's too much for this tutorial, I want to explain how delay can change everything. I mean, if you have no delay at the beginning, like that, but by the delay, is normally you use like some stuff like that. On delay, I would change not that much, and I would repeat the delay at that point. But don't know what you mean. I'm sorry, I don't know if you understand what I mean. That's what I want to say. That means especially you have to train your ears, especially. That's the most important thing in music production, and you have to understand how to use your instruments, how to use that sound, how to create the sound. And it's important to make your truths about it. And if you have a clear point of what you want to do with the sounds, it's more easier, because if you go on a project with no clue on it, that means you have no ideas, and you have nothing you want to change on the. It will sound, and I have that issue a lot of times. If I have a drop, and this doesn't change in some points, and then I had also here reverb. You can also do this. Another cool thing is you can just use those settings I explained with each audio effect. That means you can maybe, that's a bit tricky. You can use a shifter maybe, and just to to short explain what crazy things you can do with one sound. That's the topic of the tutorial. It's near up to any of the tutorial, but I want to show you that don't be afraid to use this automutations in Ableton. And that's also for automation you can use on your effects. And what I do at the moment, what I try out, is to find out how to pitch things right and pitch bend things right. That means I let all this stuff here, because I experiment with it. It's really very crazy, but it's too complicated. What you need to know is the curves or the fine. I would change here the course on just right click the computer mouse or something, and or enter. I think enter is the same. No, you have to right click the mouse and go to show automation. Can also do it in a new line. That means it's under it, under the loop. So if you have, for example, the basic delay here, or if you want to know where your space is, you see a space explain the reverb. You can also see what you do on the second on the pitch bend, for example. So you can also use here the effects on. You can also do that with areas, everything. You can show the cutoff, new line. You see it here, the cutoff. Then you can go here to the space. So you can see it like you have by recording a vocal or something. You have separated tracks on it. You can do not only to duplicate here the tracks, and you can also do this with the automation lines. That means you have the full control of it. So now you can experiment with the sound, also the octave. You can start from this. No, this doesn't fit. But I recommend to leave the original sound on that sound. Go down, just click to another octave. That's very, very hard, because you don't see the this here. You don't see the keyboard notes. You don't see any notes. You have to count, or you have to believe your ears. That means if you have 3 semitone down, for example, or we say 7 to make it different. Oh, that sounds nice. You can go up then next, like you create a melody to a higher octave. Okay, that was too much. You have to leave it on the original octave. But you can also go a little bit step by step, like I do now. But for that reason I wouldn't do that. It's just to make a quick, confusing moment. Just make it on point in that case. And you can do it next up the same, for example, but you can go more down. No, that doesn't make sense to me. Then you can leave it, because the effect makes the rest. The reverb. But you can also do stuff like just with the vocal, just try it out. You can do stuff like this. You can do crazy stuff. You can also do it like that. And go a little bit higher because it's rapidly changing. You have to try it out. This is more for this breaks and so but you can do crazy stuff. You see it, and now I will end up with the tutorial. I thank you for watching. You can see what you do in the introduction. That's just to help you to understand more the automation stuff on Ableton, the curve of what you can do with all these curves, and also do with the effects. Can also, just to say it, I forgot it, just quiet it here on that point, just click on it, get differences, and you that's it, and you see it goes very crazy and very amazing. Thank you for watching. I wish you great holidays, or great Merry Christmas 2022, and if you want to follow me on my SoundCloud or my also streaming platforms or just on Instagram, just feel free to do that, and on YouTube also. And yeah, that's it, and hope you enjoyed it. Yes, and see you next tutorial, and bye. Thank you for watching.